I am president of Jarvis Club, and today this session is scheduled to discuss the journey of Tanya. I may give a little bit introduction of Tanya. Currently she is a remote engineer, but she had worked in more than 10 companies as an intern, and from those 10 companies, the
More
Google,
than 10 companies.
there were Google and LinkedIn were part of that. Wait a minute, I may. Um, yeah. So more than 10 companies were part of those companies. And I may introduce Tanya. Tanya, welcome to our session. Please give a little bit about you to our audience.
Sure. Thanks, Ananje, for introducing me. Before moving forward, I want to ask if I'm audible.
You are clearly audible. Wait a
Okay.
minute, actually, there is a problem in mute. I am muting everyone. Actually, this section of mute is, yeah, I got it. Yeah, now no one can interrupt in that.
Sure. So,
Yeah.
thanks, Ananje, for introducing me. And I really don't have much to add on top of it, but just for something to say, I would say that I recently graduated. I graduated this year itself, but I'm working full time since Feb in a startup. Prior to that, I have worked in various companies, as Ananja said, like more than uh, 10, I guess. Yes, more than 10 startups. I have worked in like not just 10 startups, like more than 10 companies, and Google and LinkedIn were the MNCs that I worked at. I also received many job offers from Google, LinkedIn, Amazon, Intuit, and other such companies. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. And the format of today's podcast would be like Q&A. So Ananja would be asking questions and I will be answering them. If you have any other questions, we can take those at the end. So I would like really ask everyone to not interrupt in between, and we will take questions at the end.
Yeah. So Tanya, as you had like done 10 and your I saw your LinkedIn profile and you had a great rank on Code Chef and Code Forces. So we may go through your journey by part per part. So can you tell us about your school journey, like your coding part in your school journey?
Yeah. So I think not everybody would be comfortable in Hindi. So I'll go with English for the whole session. Like, is that fine?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So regarding the school journey, I was like in ICSE. So I knew basics of coding. Coding was taught in class 9th and 10th. Java was the subject. But it was like very basic. Even if you don't know it, it's fine. You can totally start in college. Apart from that, uh, I don't think I did anything exceptional in coding in school. I definitely developed the problem solving skills of very basic problems, and like only touching topics like strings, arrays, nothing more than that, which I think you can even start in college, so nothing exceptional there.
So you had done strings array in your school journey,
Yeah.
like basics of coding. Like
Yeah, very.
we can say till loops and that those parts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what you done in your first year of college?
Okay, so when I joined NIT Agartala, I joined as as a student of electrical engineering department. So as any other person, like even in IIT Madras, you guys must be seeing the trend of the branch change. People study first year for branch change so that they are able to shift to some other department in their second year, whichever they prefer. So my focus was on branching, and I was not thinking so much about coding and stuff, because I first wanted to slide my branch to CSE or ECE. So my focus was on that. So in my first year, I was able to change my branch. I shifted from electrical engineering to electronics and communication. I was not able to qualify for CS, like my CGPA fell short of 0.02. So that was like hilarious, but I could not make it to CSE. But still, I wanted to, grab the best placement from my college, and I started working towards it. At the end of my first sem or second sem, I don't remember properly, but yeah, at the end of my first sem, I guess I started learning web development from YouTube. So I started learning that, and that was when I got my first internship through Intern Chala, worth 10,000 or something. And I did that internship, and after that I started learning data structures and algorithms in my first year. So this was like mix of data structures plus web development. This was what I did in my first year.
So from like what channel had you visited first, and which is your most preferable channel to learn TSLGO and web development?
So I would say that something I followed, and I feel everyone should follow this, that there is no best resource and there is no best channel. You just need to know the basics, and then your practice is going to take you forward. Like um, you cannot cling on to a best channel or a best resource and hope that it will teach me everything. Most of the channels just teach basics enough so that you can pick up things in future as you go ahead. So not any recommendations as such, I would say, but I think if you know Striver, his Take You Forward channel is really good for data structures and algorithms. And for web development, I had followed Udemy courses of Angel IU. So I think that is also a pretty popular course.
Okay, so I may summarize your first year. In first year, you had basically go for CGPA to upgrade your branch, and along with that, you had work for data structure algorithm and go for web development.
Right.
And how your second year proceeded after that?
So in my second year, so basically in colleges, like whenever you see that companies are coming for hiring interns, it happens at the end of second year, and you join at the end of third year, first semester. So companies come in at the end of second year. So I was like very sure in my mind that I have to, grab whatever internship that comes to my college, because we were very unsure. Like COVID had stuck at that point of time. So it was very unsure. I was also thinking of going off campus because I was not sure कि कैसी companies आएंगी नहीं आएंगी. So I started at the end of second year, I started preparing for basically the coding challenges that happen. So I started building my code forces profile. I started doing lead code. I also did a lot of GFG. So I did not have much guidance. So I started doing GFG first. I did a lot of GFG. Then I thought that I should also focus on competitive programming, not just, the traditional DSA that gets asked in interviews. So then I switched to code forces. I started giving contests. I started practicing. I gave virtual contests as well. And that was when I hit specialist. Just before I got an internship offer by Google, I hit a specialist at Code Forces. And after that, I didn't do CP because it was like I had reached a certain point at that point of time that I was like, okay, now I can focus on development. So whole of my second year, if you summarize it, just went into, learning data structures and algorithms, competitive programming. And in this second year itself, I was a DSA mentor for a lot of startups. I also worked as a problem setting intern. I worked with a lot of small edtech startups. Like I work for Algo University, I work for Hey Coach, and I helped them structure their competitive programming course. I used to, apply whatever I learned, and that was something that I did in my second year.
Okay, so as you've done CP, when I do CP, there's a problem. The approach to the question. How to build that approach so that I can encounter question properly in minimal time. I may encounter question within 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but that's not good. I need to do it like in shorter duration.
It
So
depends
how to
on
build?
which question that you are talking about. Like, is it div to a question or what? Like, is it the most basic question that comes in the contests?
Like I'm saying, like for example, a person is at 1,000 level. If he's trying to do 1200 problem, then this problem arises. And if a person is at 500 level, if he is doing 700, like if I a little bit yeah, then this problem arises to each and everybody. So how to encounter, like how to do that properly, like how to do CP properly.
So the only way you can do CP properly is that you practice is the key. First of all, there's nothing that beats that. And secondly, what I think is, if you are, let's say, 1000 rated and you are doing problems like 1400, 1300, then you are doing a lot of, like, you are touching problems that are way too tougher for you. So I think you should not go that way. First, get comfortable in solving your level of problems. Once you are there, then start solving 1200. If you're stuck there, then start solving 1100 and try to find a pattern. Try to read from the constraints that, okay, the constraints look like this, I think it should be a n log n approach, or I think O of n log n works, something like that. Finding the time complexity from the constraints always helps, because it gives you a hint that, okay, my solution has to be within this time complexity, otherwise it will be TLA. So these are small tricks that you develop only when you practice. So that would be my suggestion, that start looking at constraints, try to find out, and also start looking at people who are rated similarly and make them in your friend list. Like mere time pe to friend list hota tha. I don't know about now, abhi bhi hota hi hoga, I guess. So see how they are performing, unhe kitna time lag raha hai. You can go and talk to them, like what approach they are following. And especially for code courses, there are a lot of ladders that you can solve. A2OJ is a bit outdated, but I think there is a similar one. I can't recall its name, but it's by Prince Gupta. So I think you can solve that also, and it will help you, get like grasp the concepts.
Okay. So your second year, you done CP and DSLO and little bit of internships.
Not little bit. I
Yeah,
did
like
a
yeah, you done a lot of that. So how was your third year started? Like the starting of third year.
So honestly speaking, guys, the starting of my third year was like, I got a job offer from Google, I got from Amazon, I got MathWorks, and I got LinkedIn. So I had 4 internship offers, and I was like on top of the world that finally 2 years of my hard work has paid off. Because before that, I had built some projects also. I had done Mon stack development and all the CPDSA kind of things that I had done. So I was like really happy. So I think 1 month or so just went in the happiness for me, that, okay, now I have received the offer and all of that. But then I was like, okay, I was always a problem solving oriented person before getting those internships. So I was like, let me also, solidify my development skills a bit. Let me also get better at development. So I started with mobile development, and I started doing Flutter, because Flutter was by Google, and I wanted to intern at Google only. So I started learning Flutter, and then I did a few projects in Flutter, then Fireways and stuff. So this was like more or less about my third year first sem. So third year first sem went in this, like learning some of the development things. And I also, founded the coding club of my college. Like, we didn't used to have a coding club before that. GDSC was also established after that. So I founded the coding club, and then I was very active in that, onboarding juniors and guiding them, taking sessions like these. So yeah, telling them how they can also achieve something similar. So yeah, that was all about my third year first semester. After first semester, in the semester break, I was doing the internships, I guess. So yeah, that was how it was going for me.
So
And
how was your internship? You were doing internship in top MNCs, like the dream companies of people, engineering students.
yeah.
So how
So
was that experience?
yeah, that experience was also pretty good. I mean, I worked at Google, and immediately after that, I started working at LinkedIn. So when I was working at Google, it was in my semester break. Like after the end of my third year, I started working at Google. So that was in the semester break from May to July. I'm sorry if I'm confusing timelines. Just forgive me.
No.
So it was from May to July, and it was a 2.5 months internship, and it was really good. It was my first time working in corporate. So, but it was remote, so it was like full work, and some gaming sessions in between. Twice a month. It was like that. And mostly it was work only, because once you get that kind of internship, you are like, I have to convert it. I have to get a full-time offer. You are fixated on that PPO, that I have to prove myself, and that I am this, that, whatever. So that also happened for me. So I got the PPO on my last day of internship, and my project was also something that went in production. So that was something that I really cherish. And immediately after Google, I also started interning with LinkedIn. So what happened was LinkedIn for me was in my seventh semester, like the starting of fourth year. So I was like managing my classes, because at that time my college went offline, like colleges reopened. So I was managing my internship along with managing my classes, and it was hectic kind of. But then that was when I was introduced to DevOps, something that I work in right now, because at LinkedIn I was a site reliability engineer intern. And yeah, so that experience also helped me a lot. And there also, immediately when my internship ended, I got a full-time offer from LinkedIn. So that was about the experience.
So after LinkedIn, you have a 1 year in your college, like fourth year. So you were chilling in that year because you got PPO, and after
No, no,
PPO,
no,
usually people.
no, it was not like that. So LinkedIn internship happened at the start of my fourth year. So, the first sem of
Yeah,
my fourth year.
yeah.
So, so that internship was 3 months long. And college semesters are also generally 3 months long. So after my LinkedIn internship ended, I hardly had, 2-3 weeks of time. And then my end sem started coming. So I was studying for that. So no chill there. And after that happened, I basically chilled out for 1 month in December, when I had, the winter vacations. Then in January, my last sem started, which was the eighth sem. And I got an off-campus internship at Bharatex, which is a fintech startup. And also I got offers from Intuit and Kagaz, if you know. So I got the 3-4 internship offers here also for 6 months internship that people do generally in their eighth sem. So I got these offers, and then I was like, okay, now I will move to Bangalore. So the last semester, which was the eighth sem, I did not spend at college at all. So my college life is very limited. In the last semester also I was working. So I came to Bangalore. I joined Bharatex. I worked there for 1 month as an intern, and then in Feb I joined DevRev full time. So yeah.
So you like you were working and you've grown up on LinkedIn and on Twitter with it YouTube. Like you started YouTube recently, but you had a huge followers, or you can say a fan base on LinkedIn and on Twitter. So how you got time to manage that and how you growed on that?
Right. So I would again take you back to what I said previously. Like when I switched my branch after the end of my first year, I was like, I have to get the, best internships, like highest paying companies with a good work culture and doing the work I like. So I was always pretty sure that I will be applying off campus. And for that, I needed to solidify my profile. Like, let's say you see openings here, so you go on LinkedIn and then you ask for referrals, right? Like this is the way you
Mhm.
go. So in my mind, I was very clear that to receive referrals, I need to build my personal brand also, so that people, refer me. So the starting point of building my personal brand on LinkedIn was, I wanted referrals, and I wanted to connect with people in good companies who can mentor me. Because as I said, there was no coding club in my college. So I had no seniors whom I could take guidance from. So I thought, why not take guidance from people who are working in my dream companies? So that's when I started building my profile. I talked to people at Google. I talked to people at other good companies. One of the person were like, some of the persons were very kind enough to, give me credentials to some of the courses that they did on system design and whatnot. And these were like very expensive courses. So I have received a lot of, support from the industry people, and that what led me, to making a lot of connections. So this was something very clear in my mind. Also, using LinkedIn when you are, preparing for something, makes you aware of what other people are doing. If you do not have such a strong coding culture, I know IT Madras has a really strong coding culture, but for anyone else, I would say that if you do not have, that coding culture, or that high level folks where you want to reach in your college or surrounding you, you should definitely use LinkedIn or Twitter, where you will see what other people of your age are doing, and you will not feel that you are missing out on the competition. So these were like few points through which I started building on LinkedIn.
So like that was a like you told it very but I am imagining it was a very tough to manage LinkedIn
Yeah,
along with like doing practice and to learn new skills and to manage college.
I
It
think
is a very
COVID
big thing.
I think COVID came as a blessing for me in this way, because classes were online. So I did not have to, like spend too much time in classes and all. Even my professors were very supportive in this regard. So I used to code a lot. I used to do internships also. Most of my internships were part time, because I want to improve my skills also. If I do full time, I will just crash on my bed after working. So I wanted to do part-time internship, so that I am devoting 3-4 hours a day to the internship, then 4-5 hours on myself for my personal study, and then 1 hour on LinkedIn also. So yeah, time management, though, it is very subjective thing. If you want to do it, you will do it. If you don't want, you won't do it. It is something like that. I believe this, and I think that is the only way you can do it.
And like one more question, as there is a debate of CP versus open source.
Yeah.
So you are of which side? I know you had done a lot of like CP, but still, what is preferable? Like as you had passed on and you got remote job, which is you can say the key of like the open source is the key for remote job.
I don't think
So
that this notion generally holds true. And firstly, I don't have a remote job, like fully remote job kind of thing. It's like it's on your mood. It's a remote first job, not a fully remote job. Like, we have offices where we can go to. So that is something I would like to clarify. And secondly, I have friends who have done competitive programming. I have friends who have done open source. Since I did not have guidance around open source, I shifted to competitive programming, and I did that, and I think it worked well for me. Different things work well for different people, so definitely not taking any sides. In my company, I see a lot of people who are like pro open source, and they have done like a lot of open source contributions. I am not one of them, but I'm still working at the same place. So I think this is similar for other companies as well. So don't be harsh on yourself. If you do not like contributing to open source, it's totally on you. If you like contributing to uh, competitive programming, it's totally on you. Like, do whatever you like, but I would say try everything. Like, take 1 month, do 15 days CP, do 15 days open source, see what you like more, see what you can do more of in future, and then decide for yourself.
okay. So as like this is very good. Like we need to try everything. After that, choose what is best for us. But as you had graduated, you are working. So you had a little bit not proper structured, but a roughly roadmap which should a person follow to get at least internship in good company or like to get a offer or like get a good job. So what should be like that roadmap look like?
So I think I think this is like very clear in my mind. Like, I would say that if I had to start over, what would I do is I would take the first semester to explore everything, every domain. Like, I still feel bad that I have not explored ML or AI enough. I didn't explore blockchain development enough. So I would say I would take the first sem only for experimenting, that what do I like. Had the LinkedIn internship not been there, I would not have realized that SRE or DevOps is a field that pays equal or better than software engineering, like SDE, traditional SDE. And I have more interest in that compared to, backend or full stack. So unless you experiment, you will never know. Unless you get the chance. I was lucky enough to get the chance. But if you are not, I would say do try a lot of things on your own. Like give some time to web development, give some time to app development, give some time to blockchain. Finalize 4 or 5 fields like AI, ML, and then see what works best for you. Don't go with the trends like every other guy is making project on MERN stack. I would also make on it. Don't go this way, because if you don't have anything to stand out, it's very much still useless. Like I'm talking in terms of projects, not in terms of tech stack, or not in terms of any specific field. So I would say just spend your first semester exploring a lot of things, and once you finalize that in your second semester, I would definitely say that you should do some competitive programming or some DSA. If not competitive programming, you should be learning DSA, because every single company asks these. There are a lot of startups which totally skip these, I understand that, but a lot of companies will ask them. So it's very important that you build your base, you build your problem solving skills. Then once your first year is done and you have learned a little bit about what your interests are, and a little bit of CP, if your interest is CP, you should start doing it from first year. Or open source, you should start doing it from first year, because it is a long journey. It takes 1 or 2 years to show you the good results. So finalize one thing, open source or competitive programming, start doing it, spend your entire second year doing it. Also try to do 1 or 2 internships side by side, because when you will be applying for internships in your third year, right, before your third year, you need to have some experience. Yaar, varna your experience section looks totally empty, and it doesn't look good for a student, because nowadays the student quality is increasing so much. Everyone is doing internship side by side. So I will be I will suggest that in your second year, do 1 or 2 internships, do competitive programming or open source, do some type of project development, anything works. Do more of that. Build your profile, personal brand, LinkedIn, whatever. It's on you. If you want, you can. If you don't, it's on you. But make sure that you do solid work before your third year. And then you can do internships when you get in third year. After that, you can just start doing internships. That helps. After that, you can leave whatever you are doing. You can just do internships. That helps you build your skills a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a really structured roadmap. We like it was a specific to each and every person. Like person should first explore, and after that choose their domain, and then
Yeah,
go into deep dive into that. And after along
exactly.
with that, do some extracurricular things like DSA and CP, which is necessary. Not CP, but DSA, which is necessary for mostly big companies, or each like small companies also ask this.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
call it like BFS and DFS. If you have heard about BFS and DFS, it's a concept used in traversing. So if anybody
Mhm.
has heard of BFS and DFS, it's like spend your first year doing BFS and all your other years doing DFS. So just explore everything in first year, and then after all those years, just deep dive into whatever interests you. So that always works out for everyone.
So my questions end here. I now give mic to our audience. They may ask question in chat section, and
Sure.
I will filter those questions and will ask them to you.
Okay.
Okay, someone is asking, like Arya is asking, resume for first year internship, like first internship, not first year, first internship.
Okay, first internship, right. So first internship, I did not have any work experience, which is very, 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 standard. Like, yeah, I'm in just in my first year. So somewhere this is the starting point, and it's fine if you do not have any prior experience. So I just omitted the experience section. I listed out all the education stuff, like my class 10th, 12th, and whatever college I am at, and my CGPA or percentage, and I added my skills, whatever I have learned. So before, okay, this is something very important, that before applying for any internship, make sure you learn Git and GitHub, how Git works, how GitHub works. So this is something that you should learn. So I had listed those, and since I also started learning web development, so whatever concepts I had learned till then, I had also listed those in my resume. And regarding the achievements, I had listed most of my achievements, which were before first year of college. Like whatever I had done in my school, I had won a lot of olympiads from SOF. I'm sure everyone must have heard of them. So I listed about that. So basically, when I'm in my first year, I will always talk about things that I've done before that. And I did the same thing. So no work experience there, but whatever I had learned, I added that.
I may add it, like add in that people will make their resume, but they fail to send their resume to recruiter.
Yeah,
So I think you had made a video on that, cold emailing.
right, right.
So I suggest people, like I had given her YouTube channel's link in chat section. Go
Yeah.
and see that video. Like you may get best resume, but it is not a guarantee that your resume got shortlisted. So to get shortlisted, you like it's my suggestion to see that video. After that, mail your resume. Like first build your resume and build your resume according to that video. That how that resume should look like, and after that, mail according to those guidelines which she gave in that video.
Yeah, I think that video is performing really well. I keep seeing my YouTube channel analytics, and it is like one the top performing video. It is now close to 7K views. So I think it is helping people a lot. I receive messages also regarding the same. So I hope it will help you guys also.
Yeah. Do anyone have any other question? With
Someone is asking the YouTube channel link.
yeah,
Guys,
I'm just
go and
listening.
search my name on YouTube. It will come up.
Yeah. You can just like hush SEO is too much good. Search engine optimization.
I think my
If
name
you
is just too good that it is like only the name that exists.
so I have a question. So Naveen, please write your question if you have any question. What is the future of CP since ChatGPT is booming now? Okay, like if like someone wants to ask that ChatGPT is booming and Google had also shut down Kickstart and they are like CP
Yeah.
competitions. And even what I saw is like yeah, Facebook have hacker come, but when I saw their recent page, like they had started it yesterday, and their page is not like that up to mark, which was in 2 to 3 years ago. So, what's the future of CP?
So regarding the future of CP, don't worry, guys. It's not going anywhere because now that I am working since 7 months. So I see things at my workplace also. We are encouraged to use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is not that powerful that it will replace you or something. So your logic building skills, your problem solving skills that you have learned in CP, your optimization skills are always going to help you. So it's not that you go on chat gpt, you ask a question that gives and it gives you the perfect answer. It doesn't happen at all. Also, I see that whenever you are working, right, when you get to work on a tool, any open source software that is created after 2021 September, chat gpt has no idea about it. So only your problem solving skills, your logic building skills will help you work on that part. So that is what I have seen so far. So don't worry, it's like not a problem yet that CP is going somewhere or anything.
So, someone has asked how to find the remote internship. So, that person I have like, Anwar, I want to tell you, see that video. In that
Yeah,
video, she told like how to find the opportunities and how to mail that.
right.
And Naveen is asking, how should the ideal daytime schedule look for a college student planning for internship and upskilling?
Okay, so I will answer this. So ideal daytime schedule is something like, so firstly, I would start this with a caveat that if you really want to do it, you will do it. So, and if you want to have excuses, you will have excuses anyway. I work on this, and I think this works the best for me. So, you have teachers, you can talk to your teachers who can support you, teachers who are not that strict, or you can go to them and say that I'm also working on something. So, if like my attendance won't be the best because I'm working hard for something else, so teachers also understand. I mean, I have done that and my teachers have supported me. I'm not sure like if everyone will support you, I cannot comment on that, but this is the first thing that I always was very clear with my teachers, that I'm doing this and I'm working hard for this. So please don't mind if I miss some classes here or there. So I got that support. And uske baad to yaar, it's like, get a part-time internship. If you are still in college, don't do a full-time internship because you won't be able to do that. I was doing a full-time internship with LinkedIn and I was able to do that because in 7th semester classes are comparatively very less considered compared to other semesters. So I was able to do that. But if your schedule looks full packed, your timetable is full packed from 9 to 5, I would say do part-time internships after, before going to college or after coming from college, and so that you do not exhaust yourself. And upskilling is something that you should dedicate your weekends and, half an hour to 1 hour every day on weekdays. I mean, you can definitely make it if you want to. And if you don't, then excuses are always there.
Krishna is asking, like he is doing, I think, web development, ML, and he wants to ask, like, along with that, should he do competitive programming or like on lead code or not with machine learning and with web development?
Let me see this question. But fine, or should we learn web development first and then move to second? DSA in second year. I mean, the order is okay. If you are learning DSA first and then planning to learn web development, it's totally cool. Any order works. Just make sure that you are not, taking too much burden on yourself, because this is also something that I talked about in my recent video, that there is a thing called cognitive load. You can only fit so many things in your short-term memory. So if you are doing 10 things at once, like, okay, I'll do lead code, okay, I'll do web development, okay, I'll do ML, then you will, just keep revisiting the concepts again and again, because you are doing 10 things at once. So make sure that you are doing only one or two things at once, or three things at max, not more than that. And this includes your college. So if you are going to college, you are paying attention to your lectures, then you can do lead code, then you can do web development, but don't exceed this, because it is not, it is very counterproductive. Order doesn't matter. It is that you can learn DSA first and then web development, but just make sure that you don't do too much simultaneously.
Pritam is asking, he wants an internship in 6 months, and is it necessary for him to learn system design and DSA to get a paid internship in a good company?
Okay. So I would say necessary. I don't know, because every company asks different things. Like if you intern at startups who only value open source, then mostly they skip your DSA rounds and they ask only about whatever projects you have worked on, and system design related to those projects, like what was the architecture, how would you scale and stuff. But I would say that the student quality has increased so much, the awareness has increased so much due to, all these channels and all these free resources on YouTube and whatnot, that it is very mandatory that you learn whatever you can. So make sure that you learn system design, make sure that you learn DSA, and it is like upon your luck that you get a chance with a company who doesn't ask you DSA or who doesn't ask you system design, but you should definitely know also system CS fundamentals along with system design. So that is also very important.
Okay. So on YouTube, Naveen is asking again, Pratap, another person. I have seen that ChatGPT is not accurate. Which language should we use for NLP and deep learning problem?
I'm not sure if I can answer this question because I don't know much about that. I have not explored that field yet.
Yeah. I think Python is good for him, but so yeah. Someone is. If anyone wants to ask any question, please ask, or we may end this session.
I think there is a question on Zoom. I'll take this. Okay, so yeah, it just got loaded for me right now. I think my internet sucks. So I'm already a dropper and not able to get CSE. So I took mechanical from Central University and then doing data science IT Madras, and also finding some good courses, learning Java right now, and then think to learn full stack. Or should I prepare again for good NITs? I'm a little bit confused. Okay. So I think you are getting very much confused and you are somewhat in the state of analysis paralysis because of too many courses and, too many things to do, and you are thinking whether to drop, prepare again or whatnot. So I would say if you are doing mechanical and then doing data science, it's okay. And you can just build your skills on the side. So it's fine if you really want to take a drop, you should take a drop, go ahead and take a drop, prepare for good NITs. But I would again say that this degree is self-sufficient. You just need to build your skills. If your skills are good, your degree doesn't matter. That is what I have seen. People drop out and still get into the best companies, best remote startups, because they have good skills. So make sure that you build on skills. Don't focus too much on, changing colleges, dropping and whatnot. So yeah, your skills matter. So make sure that you do learn from some courses, then build good projects, contribute to open source or do competitive programming. Make sure that you're developing your skills. That's it.
Mayank asked on YouTube, he wants to pursue for web development as you had done web development. So how he should do like with resources, something like that.
So when I had done web development, I had used this course by Angela Yu from Udemy, and I think it is a good course. Like I think it gets updated also every year or so. It is a good course. You can take that, and it is available for free also somewhere. But I would say that pay for it because like she has put a lot of hard work into that course. And if you don't want to do that, I think there are a lot of YouTube channels also from which you can learn web development. I didn't, learn from any specific YouTube channel, but I'm sure you can go and search on YouTube and see which has, the best, like the most number of views and stuff. And you can see from the comment section if it helped people. If it did, then you can, select any playlist and get started with it. Because your skills will get better only when you start building your own projects. So basics you can learn from anywhere, any playlist on YouTube. Just make sure that it is a complete playlist of all the basics.
So guys, if anyone wants to ask, we may wait for your question by 2 minutes.
Yeah. Also, guys, feel free if like I understand that if you do not want to ask anything here, you can DM me on LinkedIn or Twitter. I'll be happy to clear your doubts there also.
Okay. Krishna is the main asking, like, should we focus on research internship too?
Only if you are focused on doing a research. Otherwise, doesn't matter.
Okay. Not for like if we go for companies, that doesn't
No,
need that.
not at all. Not at all. Research is a totally different field. How difficult is it to change your domain in the professional life? I have changed my domain in internships a lot. Like I was a full stack engineer kind of at Google. Then I switched to SRE engineer in LinkedIn. So these were all in internships. And after that, since I'm working full time, I am in the SRE/DevOps domain. I never switched after that. So because I'm still working since 7 months, so I didn't need to, switch while I was full time. But when I switched in internships, personally for me, it was not big of a thing because I always take things as you can be presented with a new tech stack in any company and you have to learn on the go. So like, let's say you are working at Google and you are working in the Android team. So you are working in mobile development and stuff. Then you go to some other company. Let's say you go to Apple. There you are working on web development. So this switch happens. You are working on Android, then you are working on web. So you should be comfortable in switching your domain as a software engineer because that is all about software engineering is. Oh, I have not done GSOC, so I can't tell.
If you want any question related to CP or DSA, then
Cool. I think we
okay,
are.
by the way, which platform
Sorry.
which like CP for CP, which platform is best to practice?
Okay, so again, there is like no one such good or best platform. I prefer Code Forces because its UI is very simple. It's about the quality of problems that you solve, not so much about the platform. So my top platforms were Lead Code, Code Forces. Yeah, like these were the two platforms. I also did some interview bit, but very less. So it doesn't really matter. Only the problems matter.
Okay. So now we may, and just thanks for coming, thanks for giving your precious time. I know you like you are very here and there, like your time is too much, like you are busy in too much things, and still you gave your time for us to guide us, and your guidance it literally means a lot. I think people will, even I myself will follow those like some of the parts that will help me. Thanks for coming. Like thank you very much
Thanks
for
for
accepting my
me,
invitation.
and it was lovely talking to you. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.